who was really good.
Morris.
Yeah, who was
Morris.
really good.
There's nobody else. And when I kind of cover, like, Rocks is just very solid. Yeah, I mean, I had Rocks, Broadview, and Payne as my bottom three. Right? Who'd you have? Is
Oh, I don't think I've written it down.
Yeah. I didn't write down either, but I just went over, like,
Oh.
Your mic, I'm guessing, because mine's off. So.
All right.
You ready to go? Or?
Welcome viewers around Australia and the world. This is your Adelaide Footy League BTR Excavations Division 1 clash between Glenunga and Salisbury North at Webb Oval. Beautiful weather we're expecting here today down at Webb Oval. There's a slight breeze going across the ground, but clear blue skies, mid-20s. Should be a good afternoon for footy here. Jack Bamwell with you, and joining me is Jack Moore. G'day, Jack.
Good afternoon, Jack. The two Jacks in with you on Div 1 Filming Footy. Saturday afternoon in the Adelaide Footy League. It's a tight affair on the ladder. Sacred Heart, Prince Alfred, the only two undefeated sides. Glenunga come in 8th and Salisbury North in 4, but the same record. And this should be one that promises a lot. Glenunga, the home side, of course. Salisbury North have recruited well, coming up from Div 2 last year. Our men in green, before I hand it back to you, Jack, to get us started in the field this afternoon. Rob Kane and Paul Smitheram. The boundary, Daniel Milne, Guido Porcaro. And in the goals, Chris Adey and Jonathan Owen as umpire. Rob Kane holds it up, and we're ready to go. Round 3 in the Adelaide Footy League.
Alex Guy at the helm for Glenunga and Luke Hable of Salisbury North. Even battle between Russell and West in the ruck. And Geordie O'Brien involved, the skipper for Salisbury North, earning a restart ball up. Russo, nice tap down. O'Brien head over it, looking for the free, didn't get it. Deacon, he's all the rage so far this year in Division 1. Nice intercept mark for Salisbury North at centre-half back. He's got a few guys working for him. Holland down the line, going in his direction. He's under it, just over his head. Deacon couldn't quite. Wagner now, in pursuit, hell about. Nice little mung. That's marked, well intercepted there by Noah Thiessen, and he switches under pressure. Russo couldn't quite. Hey, Davis, good tackle. Kick long now. Is that Costanzo down there? And that's a nice intercept mark. Nope, fumbled out of bounds. I don't have that number down there.
So in and out as quickly as the ball's out of bounds, about 10 metres around from the Glenunga goal, and a stoppage with an injured player down inside forward 50. A chance to get those ins and outs for you. For the away side, Salisbury North, Matty Sharp and Jamie Jones miss, with Brody McBride back in. McBride, number 19, and Callum Brown in the 44. For the home side, 4 outs, and make that 5, and 5 in. So Thompson is out. Ethan Smith, their big recruit from Broadview, misses. Ryan Johnson, Nick Wunke, and the other out, Sam Abel. James Tregarkis comes in for Glenunga in the number 7. Ryan Marini in the number 9. Jack Scott, number 19. Jordan West, the big ruckman from the Eagles, number 28. And Mitch Marini, their big recruit from the Adelaide Crows in the Sandful, in number 32. So the player from Glenunga is making his way off with the trainers, and will be thrown in about 20 metres around from the Rams goal.
Holland gets front position, wins a nice tap down. Heading towards the boundary, good pressure again by Holland. It'll be another repeat stoppage. Jake Holland coming off a career best game last week, 12 disposals and 2 goals. Breakthrough player of the week, according to some at the Hawks. Gets another tap down in front of West. Cleared by Glenunga. Pack of players under it and coming through. That's Hay. He takes a nice mark and it looks like he's going back for a shot. A wealth of experience, Callum Hay returns to the nest for season 2025. Applies his trade at full back, but I think he knows where the goals are at times. He lines this one up. Getting there, but touched over the line. So Glenunga do well to get that one through and not concede a mark right in front of goal. And that is the first score on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard.
Oh, Hayaketsu. Beautiful vodka lemon soda. A few of these boys will entertain a responsible beverage after this one. Round 3 Adelaide Footy League from Webb Oval. Fletcher Wisman, the injured player, just getting some attention on the Rams bench, so we'll bring you an update as soon as we get it. Ball's on the outer side, hacked forward by the Central District Reserve's best and fairest last season, Adam Deacon, one of the major recruits for Salisbury North. Turned over, just fizzled through a hand and now hacked towards the forward half. Salisbury North there in numbers, 3 on 2, 4 on 2, but the Rams win it out. At ground level, Tommy Bean went without it, and now Pridham falls on top. And he's joined by Tommy Bean in the tackle, and ball up on the edge of the square. Umpire Paul Smitheram chucks it up. Dumped out the way was Russo, but Salisbury North win it. Moving it through was Callum Hay, and now a clearing kick towards the commentary side. Ball just dribbling through hands, picked up now by Lawler. Hacks it in, he got it from McBride. About 45 out now, inside 50 for the Rams. Their defensive side of the ground, clearing kick coming towards the target was Tommy Bean, picked up by Deacon. Hot start all the way down to the Salisbury North goal. It's about 5 out. Can the Rams clear their lines? They can. That's going to track out of bounds. They want the last touch. It looked like a player got a hand on it. But yeah, well, he's going to pay that last touch. And it's going to be brought in by Adam Deacon. So he's getting involved early, had a few touches. Just goes long to the hot spot. Can Richard fly? Russo. Strong mark floating across. As the changes ring in for both sides now. For a big man, Russo has great skills, so I expect him to put this one through. Salisbury North Junior played some footy at Central's, 31 games. And a goal for the Bulldogs in the Sandful, and spent a season at Kapunda as well. He'll try and work Geordie West all over the ground today. He makes no mistake, kicks the first goal and rocks the baby. Salisbury North are away. 1 goal, 1 plays 0 on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. Strong start for the away side. Yeah, just locking it inside their forward 50 for a couple of minutes there, and Russo was the one that came out to accept the mark. Just a little bit stronger and just bigger around contest. Big ruckman Matty Cloughton, who was instrumental in their grand final in Div 2 last season, couldn't get over the line that day. That's a real battle of the big men inside, with a well-rested West back for the Rams in the ruck. And Cloughton, of course, so much experience, the number 31 for the Hawks inside. Played some footy at Spock and Echunga as well. Did Matty Cloughton. 54th game for the Hawks. Mark dropped inside, defensive 50, and now the door's open once again for the Hawks. Can they add to that Russo goal? No, but it was a fantastic clearance. It'll dribble out of bounds for last possession. Rams will take it. Adam Deacon has done it well. That last clearance from Wagner for the Hawks, as the Rams pump it out of their back 50. The battle of the big men. They can't quite get to it. West leaves a bit of collateral damage, but now it's almost inside 50 for the Rams. Just assessing the options. Tem had nothing presenting for him. Wagner got in the way and then did it again. Meanwhile, the ball's about 25 out from the Rams' goal. Hawks clear beautifully. A sideways little nibbling kick. It didn't hit the target. Wagner was waiting for it. Out of bounds. 55 around. Rams will pump it long inside their forward 50. Looking for their first score of the afternoon.
Breeze will be influential today. A couple of balls we've seen already hang up in the air. Hay gets a good spoil in. Bobbling around there. O'Brien with his head over it again. Just making a little bit of amends for that errant kick before, which sent the ball inside 50.
Rams coming off a 1 point away win to Rocks last week. Salisbury North a 23-point home win against Paynham.
O'Brien got it first use. Used the runners. Wagner hangs that up for his teammate. Good spoil by the Glenunga defender. Good follow-up. Great tackle. Not rewarded, and it's rushed out of bounds. Just on that 1 point victory, did you go back and watch it on the Filming Footy live stream? That was a sensational ending. Rocks nearly pinching it with a check side in the pocket after the siren.
Rams, they charged back. It was a seesawing battle all week. They were behind at every change, the Rams, down by 2 goals at three-quarter time. And, yep, they had a chance to squeeze it out after the siren. Couldn't do so.
Strong response by them, actually, last week, considering they got overrun in round 1.
First win under new coach Alex Guy, of course. Nathan Grimer stepping aside after last season. It will just kind of calm the butterflies of Alex Guy, I guess, to get that win under the belt.
In all of our ramble, Salisbury North have got a point and Glenelg have kicked it straight back to Clawton from the kick-in. Russo at his ankles couldn't quite. Cleared by Fahey. He's had a good start to the year. McMahon, he loves flying at the contest, but he was caught behind this time. And Callum Hay, again, proving to be influential down in defence. That's his second or third mark. Dare say he's going to pump this one in long. Russo and Hellabout at the back in position A. Couldn't quite. Follows up well with a nice tackle. And the umpire calls for a ball up. So it's about 25 from home.
Mark of the Week nomination, of course, moments ago, thanks to Born to Build.
Salisbury North doing well to lock it in there, attacking half of the ground thus far. Wagner gets a kick out. Hellabout offhand, snap. They're calling for a touch, and it is. So good defensive efforts there from Glenunga to not concede their second. That was sharp work by Hellabout off hands. He's had a good start to the year. Kicking 2 and 3 respectively in round 1 and 2.
Sorry, mate, stay. We've got to kill that back rotation. That's right, on the walk.
So the Rams yet to get a score on the board. Abe Davis now enters the fray. Star in this competition.
I dare say this will be coming his way if they can see him.
Just has that knee strapped on the right leg. Just looking to warm up now. 139 the visitors on the here in Hale Ketzel scoreboard. Love saying that. It's in a scrap on the outer side. Rams look to win it. Pinned at the bottom of the park and diving on the football. Umpire in perfect spot. As they look for their first score of the afternoon. Almost 10 minutes gone. First quarter. This will do nicely. Pridham, the Roadrunner, to the teeth of goal. Charlie Pridham drills it into the padding.
Yep. I thought he was going to signal a goal there.
Umpire smacks that right-hand goalpost of his, left as we see it. Salisbury North clear it out to this near side. Hassled onto the football, Russo. Inside 50, Adam Deacon. Just pumps it as far as he can. No one was leading towards him over the head of Hellabout, who kicked that last goal, and last point, I should say. Almost a goal. Touched over the line. 1-4-10. Glenunga 1 behind. An early 9-point lead on the Kieran Hale Ketzel scoreboard.
A couple of the summer signings proving to be influential thus far. Hay and Deacon getting plenty of the ball. Hay this time caught behind McMahon, who takes a nice mark on the lead.
Hay from North Haven. Moved up a couple of divisions and really looking to fit right in.
I think he's a hawk at Hay. He's played plenty of Div 1 footy for Salisbury North back in the day. Long down the line now. Lawler taps down cleverly to Clawton. Normally it's the other way around. Clawton tries to probably do it a bit too much and it's intercepted. And it'll be a ball up just outside 50 on that far side. So a lot of the play on that outer side. The wind is tracking to the right of screen and slightly across the ground as well. West, nice tap to the hot spot. Off hands. I think that's Beyond. Is it? Pridham. It's gone through. We'll get that goal. It looks like Beyond. And that's Glenunga's first. So it's a good response. Salisbury North with all the territory. Just couldn't quite get it on the scoreboard, but it's been an arm wrestle thus far, and the scoreline probably suggests that. Just 2 points in it.
On the Dartfish replay, Pridham wanted it. He was sneaking onto it, but couldn't beat the bounce of the ball with a roll from Tommy Behan. Back in this side this season after missing quite a bit of last season in Div 1 footy. Played a lot of reserves games. Nathan Grime was the coach. Must just see a sparkle from Tommy Behan under the guidance of Alex Guy. And first goal on the board in the Kieran Hale-Ketzel scoreboard. Back to a 2-point game. Salisbury North look to atone for that. Moving it beautifully on the outer side. Kick inside. Wagner just didn't measure it too well. Out of bounds. Last possession. Filming footy Saturday afternoon. Div 1 from the Adelaide Footy Leagues. Brought to you by Sports Interactive. Classic Clashes. Archie's, Jag Meatworks, Kimberley Resorts, and High Five E-Bikes.
Close it out.
Rams look to string a few possessions together. Abe Davis has the hand up in the middle of the ground. He's marked by Callum Hay. And they've turned it straight over. Here's Hellabout, looking to get his name on the score sheet. A bit too far out, about 70 out. Gets the measuring tape out, measures it to perfection. And a chance to line up from about 45 out, more or less, directly in front. Here's the captain, Geordie O'Brien, instrumental in their promotion campaign from Div 2 last season. And now a chance to add their second goal of the day. They've dominated in terms of the possession. O'Brien from 45. Pure. From the captain.
Captain and 3-time best and fairest winner, 3 in a row.
Highly experienced, the junior at Salisbury North and Salisbury. And played a few games at the NAB Under-18 Championships for South Australia back in the day, Geordie O'Brien. Second goal on the Kieran Hale-Ketzel scoreboard, 2-1-15. 1-1-7. It's a lead of 11 points. Make that 2-4-16. The scoreboard operator is just having a few too many Kieran Hale-Ketzels on that far side. No, I doubt that. It's 2-4-16. 1-1-7. 9-point lead to the Hawks.
West just having a rest now. Prosser in the ruck for Glenunga. Russo resumes for the Hawks. Prosser wins that one down very nicely. And they're away. Like Marini kicking long. McMahon off hands. Great tackle. And it's bobbling around. It's been ripped out. The umpire's found a free, has he? No, ball up.
Strong tackle from Marini around the ball there.
McMahon looked to have kicked that one through as a little sock up. Beyond again. And he's kicked this one out the full. Been marked by Wagner, so that's good work by him. Getting deep in defence.
Between the two, Marinis and Pridham playing that kind of half forward role. There's heaps of speed if the ball comes to the deck for the Rams.
Certainly. Well, it's what they've prized themselves on over the last couple of years under Nathan Grimer. McMahon, good fly and a good mark. Hay just lost him momentarily, and that's the class of Michael McMahon. He can make you pay. He gives this one off. Davis off one step. Just to the near side. So that's a let-off for Salisbury North. And a chance gone begging for the Rams. McMahon certainly knows where the goals are, so not too sure why he's just handed that one off, but...
I guess when Abe Davis says, give it to me,
yeah,
you want your spot in the team. I'm sure McMahon's magnet is glued to the board, but...
Big kick in there from Hay, bobbling around, kept in, and Russo's corralled over the line. So finally we get some action here on this near side. All the plays been on the outer side thus far. Yeah, Glenunga, they like to choke the ground, defend really hard, and then slingshot, which is what we've seen a little bit in the later stages of this quarter. Salisbury North with most of the territory. Wagner caught in possession. Home fans wanted ball. Comes out to Fahey anyway. He shanked this one, and Hayes under it. And that's mark number 4 or 5 for the quarter. He's the general back there.
And the umpire there either thought he had no prior and he made an attempt, or the tackle didn't stick and it was more of a bump. So we'll give the umpire the benefit of the doubt there.
There we go. Russo drives the knee into the back of Davis. He went down pretty heavy. That must have got him flush.
Certainly a target, Abe Davis always is, the reigning Div 1 medalist in the Adelaide Footy League.
Pumps this one in the direction of McMahon, who'll want to fly. He got a free run at it, off hands. Beyond, this looks good, dribbling. It's just fallen to the near side.
And great umpire in that last free kick. He flew for the footy, didn't touch it, and he took Davis out. Well umpired.
Have gone quick from the kick out in the Wagner direction. Davis with a shepherd, just clipped Wagner high, but the umpire didn't see it. McMahon, strong mark in between two. And I think he's going to take ownership this time and go back and try to kick Glenunga second.
Well called there, Jack. When the footy went past Abe Davis, he stuck the hand out and caught him around the neck. It was a bit of a horse collar. The umpire obviously blindsided. But McMahon over 300 goals in Rams colours.
37 in 2024. This is working nicely, and it's through. So that's their second. The score now 2-3-15 to 2 goals 4-16 on the Kieran Haiketsu scoreboard. This is a good response from Glenunga. Salisbury North did dominate the first half of this quarter. Now we're pretty much back to an even keel.
Strong battle at Webb Oval. Into time on, first quarter. Rams have stormed back after a first half of this quarter was dominated by the Hawks. Russo O'Brien with goals. Tommy B and the latest there from McMahon. Just riding the tackle. O'Brien back into the fray. McBride. Here's Brown. He's taking the mark. 30 out on a tough and tight angle with the wind swirling here at Glenunga. Umpire will bring him around. Chance to answer straight back for the green and gold.
Very handy player, Joey Brown. I believe his roots are from Kapunda. You'll have that there on the laptop. Very handy player patrolling the outer wing.
We'll get those Dartfish stats up for you. As Brown approaches, purposeful, just hanging out to the right-hand side. It came back late.
He tried
the umpire.
I think he tried to sell it, but the umpire wasn't buying any of it.
Umpire gave the Hawks some hope coming to the middle of the goal line, but just came back a bit too late. So a point on the Kieran Haiketsu scoreboard for the Kapunda native. Also played a couple of games for SA in the NAB AFL Under-18 Championships and 99 Centrals and all divisions. So a handy watch and one that the Rams will have on their scouting report is Brown. On the outer side, strong mark. Above his head, Fisher drills it back inside. Looking for Fisher, I should say. But the Rams stand tall and tough. They're back six. Repelling entries in the opening few minutes of time on here in this first quarter. Telebauer stands the mark taken by the Rams on the outer side.
It's just early days, but 2 goals 5. They could potentially rue some of these missed opportunities here, Salisbury North. Glenunga would have seen this situation many a time across their the last few years of their dominance of Div 1. Teams pressing and they always have an answer. So Pridham goes long to the outer centre wing. It's a good spoil. And a couple of guys just have a little hug and corral that one out of bounds.
Hawks have pushed Brock Fenson just behind the ball was an extra man, and it looks like Glenunga are trying to even up those numbers now, and they have.
Umpires found a free. Looks to be going to Russo. So Glenunga have plenty of players behind the ball. They could be caught out if Salisbury North move it quick. And as we've seen so far, they just pump it long and strong. And that's
Great
a
body
great mark. Great body work there by Jordan Opperman. Just takes his time, weighs up his options. No one working for a switch, so it comes back from where it came. Fisher, good spoil. Good tackle. Lawler. And he's earned a free kick holding the ball. Gives it off to his best mate, Wagner. He goes along. McBride on the end of it. Into the side today. He'd love to kick truly. And repay the faith that Luke Hable's shown in him to select him today.
Salisbury North Junior, of course, McBride. Had a great season last year in their Div 2 promotion winning campaign. 11 goals in 18 games.
He's a left footer. He'll shape up with the check side. And he's got underneath that one too much. Costanzo, he needed more help down there. And Jack Scott comes across and takes the intercepting mark.
Give a guy a pump up.
Always the way.
Misses everything. Mark taking Opperman, getting himself involved. Just getting a bit dirty on the defensive back 50. And now a chance to slow things down. Just waves the zone away. Mini hold under the flight of the ball. McMahon didn't win the free kick, and now the Hawks pump it back inside forward 50. Waiting for it at the ground level was Abe Davis, always dangerous. Hacked out of there in the Rams chase. Just one little clearance required. It wouldn't sit for Cormac Dwyer. Moving in. Oh, Clawden off the ground. Silky from the big man. Falling over his toes, Costanzo, and now a chance for Dwyer. Through hands inside for Thiessen. Running onto it, can't control it. Gets the kick away. Hawks arrive in number. O'Brien was there for support. Great tackle. Fisher wrapped up. 45 out from the Rams goal directly in front. 23. Almost 24 play. Rams by a point. One down. Clawden got the hit out. Ground level was Lincoln Bennett. Rolling, and gone. Ball was on the deck. Bennett dived on it. It's up to him to get it out. He didn't. Umpire right there made a great call. Rams by a point.
Bastic clears to the outer side. Brody Wagner now. Holland direction. Got underneath it. Off hands. And that'll go out of bounds. And it'll be a throw in. So Salisbury North have done well to get this to the outer side as McMahon comes to the bench for a well-earned rest. Callum Hay coming off a couple of minutes ago, also earning himself a well-earned rest. Salisbury North trying to get a spare behind the ball. Just to kill the last couple of minutes of this quarter. West works his way to the front. Hocking with good pressure. And again, lays a nice tackle. That'll please the coaches. Clawden, West, down the front, Pridham, Lawler playing in front of Pridham, takes a nice mark, goes long and strong, Deacon, good spoil Davis, Hocking off hands, taken high. He's made a living off earning a high one. It's probably not hard at the size of him, but he's a very classy player. He goes along in the Richard direction, haven't seen him yet. Could be his moment. Wagner. Good handball back. O'Brien. Richard now. In between two. It's brought to ground. This needs to find a chest or it could come straight back. Deacon underneath it. Just went over his head. Thomas involved. Brown. Good handball. Fensom. Can Glenunga counter-attack from here? They've picked it up cleanly. Marini. Fisher, good handball. Thomas clears. Claughton off his big chest. West gets a hand out. Tregarkis tries to settle but couldn't find a chest. Marini was tackled as he kicked, and that's made it go sideways 45 metres, and it's going to trickle out, and Hockey will take the inbound kick.
Not much time remaining. Opening quarter, under a couple of minutes as Davis comes across. Can't impact, got there too late. Rams have started to win the ground balls and are dominating the 1%ers. Plenty of spoils in the last couple of minutes. Can they resist one final time? Another example of a defensive effort there. Couple of fists. Falls to Adam Deacon for the Hawks. Just pumps it towards goal. 20 out. Waiting under it was Richard. He couldn't get anywhere near it. Rams again. Like Mortain, just repelling the surges. Wrapping himself out of one tackle. Fensom hands off to Lawler. Way out of bounds. As he looked to pump it in between the two sticks from downtown. He couldn't do anything, so we'll head to quarter time. Siren imminent. Rams lead by a point on the Kieran Hale-Ketzel scoreboard, 2-3-15. The visitors in green and gold, the Hawks, 2-2-14. One last chance. If they get it in there quick. Fensom's called to hurry. He does. Straight in. Glenunga arrive in numbers once again. They close it up to be a 3-on-1. And again as Davis flies over the back of Redmond. It's falling at ground level for the Hawks. Lawler into the gleeful chest and hands of Charlie Pridham, the Goody Saints recruit from a couple of seasons ago. And a great quarter comes to an end. All Hawks in the opening 10 minutes. But the Rams, they steadied, won the 1%ers and the ground ball, and got a couple of goals back to Tom Behan and McMahon, Russell and O'Brien, the majors for the Hawks. And a very entertaining opening quarter here at Webb Oval. Both teams look to secure their second win for the season. Jack Banwell.
Yeah, entertaining first quarter. Definitely a seesaw. Could tell Salisbury North were just trying to go long and strong with that breeze. It'll be interesting to see what the game plan's like in the second quarter, and be interesting to see what Glenunga do with that breeze. Davis has just come into the bench with Grimace. Probably from that big knee that he copped in the back, about the halfway point of that quarter from Russo. But nonetheless, entertaining first quarter. 1 point in the margin. And we'll be back after these short messages.
in the middle or something.
Maybe you could put it on like a marquee or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But then you'll hear him like talking tactics that though. Well,
Yeah, you don't want it near the bench. You want it just somewhere general. Maybe something on the ground, because
yeah, maybe just
no one's going to walk near here, are they?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what that does. Hopefully no one walks on it.
Did you turn it on?
Yeah. Yours on? Just knock on the thingy. See what that does. Oh, you hear it anyway. Oh well, it's alright. Saturday afternoon footy in the Adelaide Football League is brought to you by our sponsors: Filming Footy, Sports Interactive, Classic Clashes, custom by ORTC, High Five e-bikes, Dartfish. Archie's, our player of the game, wins themselves a pair of Archie's footwear. Elite Comfort for your feet, Jag Meatworks, Kimberley Resorts, and the scoreboard sponsor Kieran Hayo Ketzel Vodka Lemon Soda, Farmers Leap, and our best on ground $50 voucher for the Settlers, the Gully, the Barney, and the Midway. Of course, our Coach of the Week is brought to you by Random Shot Winery. 3 bottles of Random Shot wines to be awarded on our Facebook page, Adelaide Footy League on Facebook. And our Goal of the Week brought to you by Jag Meatworks, and Mark of the Week, Born to Build. Mark of the Year, how's this for a prize? Brought to you by Moonlight Suites at Kimberley Resorts. The winner of the Mark of the Week wins 3 nights accommodation in Broome. No wonder Abe Davis was caught in the back by the Salisbury North player trying to fly off his back and take that Mark of the year. All the winners and all the highlights with Tommy Javor, the man, the myth, the legend that is Tommy Javor. You can see him out there for Salisbury North doing his weekend job and doing some great stuff at the Hawks this year. Tommy Javor, but of course our Filming Footy legend with himself, Lockie Gould, and a rotating switch of hosts on Between the Posts. And of course Tommy Javor, the signing of the summer. He's the new footy operations manager at Salisbury North, and he told us to mention that. He's signing in the summer? No, but he is an absolute legend in local Adelaide footy. So second quarter about to get underway. Jack Banwell and Jack Moore here at Webb Oval. What a quarter that was. A defensive arm wrestle for the first half. It opened up a little bit more with the Rams dominating 1%ers. Plenty of spoil. Salisbury North inside 50s. More than double of the Rams. At quarter time, 2-5-17. The Hawks and Glenunga 2-3-15. A tough, low-scoring affair. Hopefully, it opens up a beautiful afternoon. Not a cloud in sight. Election day here in Australia. And some Div 1 Saturday afternoon footy. Where else would you rather be? It's the Hawks by 2 points. Second quarter underway.
The away side with a promising opening term hold a 2-point lead here at Webb Oval. West gets a punch forward. In pursuit there, Lincoln Bennett, and tackled well by Fensom, who did some nice things across the half-back line in that first quarter. West wins this one down. Pridham head over it. Same as O'Brien. Hocking, good tackle. Fensom, now Brown. Back to Fensom. He has time to compose himself. And finds McBride, who will roll onto his left foot at some point and go long. So same trend as the first quarter. Costanzo, floating across the pack, takes a nice mark. He was all on his own for an eternity, it felt like, and eventually found his mitts. And he will have the journey, no problems, even against this slight breeze which is going across the ground to the right-hand side. But it's just died off momentarily. Costanzo makes no mistake. Great start to the quarter for the Hawks. And that is the first of this quarter, their third of the game, and that extends the margin to 8 points on the Kieran Hayaketsu Vodka Lemon Soda scoreboard.
12 goals in each of his past 3 seasons for Salisbury North. He's got 4 in 2 games and a quarter and a bit so far in 2025.
2 goals and in the best players last week, so he's finding his form across the half-forward midfield line.
9 games for the Crows in the Sandful in 2018. Plenty of experience for Salisbury North. They've recruited beautifully, both last season and now finally their return back into Div 1 footy. Glenunga, the sweeping boot off half-back. Trigarchis pumped it inside 50 at ground level. Bennett couldn't quite get his hands on the footy. Now he comes back for seconds. Handball over the head. Looking for Ryan Marini, but it swept all the way out of bounds. Last possession. Free kick going the way of the Hawks. As the umpire sets the mark, brings Tommy Behan back. He's a mosquito little dangerous buzzy half forward. Off the hands, here's Faye. Straight back in. Now the punch over the back. Over the head of Behan. That was beautifully done. Looks like Holland. As the Hawks try to get it back, but it's through hands. Abe Davis just spinning on a pinwheel inside forward 50. Unstoppable. Can't get around him. McMahon escorted under the flight of the ball. Half a free kick. Carla Vasitas swings it back around. Handballed it off. In those bright pink boots. Couldn't get it through. Carla Vasitas on that scoreboard. 3-5-23. Glenunga moved to 2-4-16. Still a 7-point lead on that Kieran Hale-Ketzel scoreboard. Adelaide Footy League. Saturday, round 3. These 2 sides at 1-1 coming into this match. A big 4-pointer here at Webb Oval.
The competition seems to be tighter than ever, so every game has a lot on the line. A couple of defeats in a row can send you quite back down the ladder. Both teams will be hoping to build on their first win of the year from last week. Russo just off hands. Hay from full back, he's worked all the way to the wing. In pursuit now, that looks to be Pearce. He's got a turn of foot, I tell ya, he goes long. And it's out in the foot. So from full back to full forward in no time for the Hawks. Can they lock it in their forward half of the ground? They can, or Russo's dropped what he definitely should have taken. Hocking couldn't quite tackle Trigarchis, who kicks forward. Running back with the flight, Fisher takes a nice mark on centre wing.
Around the grounds at half time. Nice early lead for Spock against Paynham, up by 5 goals early second quarter. And Port kept Broadview goalless in the first quarter. They're up by 4 goals early second quarter. Tight one between Princes and Rocks. That's a 5-point game as we speak here at Webb Oval. Hawks by 7. These 2 teams look strong in Div 1 footy this season. Hawks have recruited beautifully coming up from Div 2. Fisher with the intercept mark. The outer side. McMahon's just going down. He's clutching at his knee. We'll just keep it. Oh, he's put the hand up now. McMahon does not look good. Trainers rushing out to Mickey McMahon on the outer side. Has not moved, and now he's down. Ball comes back his way. Umpire might stop it. It's not going to come back at the moment. He's not in danger of getting hit by the footy. Hawks pump it inside 50. Front on contact or mark.
Richard.
Take your pick. He's the man with the 2 first names. Tyson Richard. Ex-Central District superstar. And we're directly behind him as he lines up. And bad news, Michael McMahon being helped from the field, putting no weight on that left leg. That looks to be a pretty serious injury. We'll keep you updated as he comes off now. It's a big blow for the Rams, Jack.
Huge blow for the Rams. He was starting to have an influence late in that first quarter, flying for everything, got on the scoreboard. Hopefully it's just a little roll of an ankle or something like that. Doesn't keep him out too long.
Richard starts it right, won't come back all the way down to the teeth of goal. Offhand, Mark Pay. First grab and 2. As Abe Davis just off for a couple of minutes, gets his breath back and coming back on. Looks like it'll come on for McMahon. Looks in some serious pain. Rams clear it, but it's coming right back over their head as the Hawks look to reload.
Fenton takes a nice intercepting mark. Spots up a forward on the lead. Umpires found a free. High contact in the marking contest. And it was Hocking flying across and earned the free.
With McMahon's injury, we'll remind you, of course, the player coach for the Hawks, Luke Harble. Serious rib injury in round 1. Not too far away from returning, but that makes both teams now down an instrumental player.
On the runway now, Hocking strikes it well, but he's just pushed it to the near side, so that's through for a minor. And he'd be filthy. He's got pretty good skills. He would have expected himself to put that one through. Not to be. I'm sure he'll be around later on in this game. To a big pack, West sitting under it. Claughton does well to come across and spoil. Follows up with a big tackle. He loves throwing his weight around Big Matty Claughton.
Mentioned Hocking, he is playing his first senior couple of games this year for the Hawks after playing reserves in C grade last year in Div 2.
Coming back for an ACL there. Hocking. The Wagner brothers combining. Couldn't quite find Hocking though, and that's punched out of bounds by Marini of the Mitchell variety. And his teammates get around him.
How's that for a Golden Fist nomination?
Huge fist.
Pumped into the street.
Good to see Mitch Marini back out, as you said earlier. Played a bit of footy for the Crows. Missed most of 2024. In 2023, 28 goals. So he's certainly one to watch as this game unfolds. And he's in the thick of it again. All over Hocking. And the umpire will call for a ball up. He says, let's get on with it, boys. Claughton trying to get a run against West, who commands front position. Mitch Marini gets a hand out. Pridham just hacks it forward. Bouncing. Callum Brown in pursuit. Does well to collect and tackle over the line by Ryan Marini. So the two brothers just getting involved.
Marini, great pressure there because that ball probably would have bounced out of bounds, but his pressure made the Salisbury North defender have to pick it up. Then he tackled him out of bounds, so it's a stoppage rather than a Salisbury North free kick.
Just one to watch there. Opperman was playing backlines for Glenunga in the first quarter. It looks like he's with Deacon. Bit of a run with role perhaps. Deacon was influential in that first quarter. And running back with the flight, Zach Smith. Big mark in front of big Bobby Russo.
That's a born to build mark of the week contender.
Hey, Timmy. Timmy.
Yeah, he's got a big gash above his eye. Does Jack Scott in that marking contest.
Great umpiring from the umpire not in control there, Rob Kane. He was able to see the blood rule as the blood was pouring out of the forehead. Not sure umpire Smitherin was in the best position to see that. So some great bit of cooperation, as I find my words, from the umpires. That mark of the week contender, certainly one to watch there on the replay and the Dartfish replay.
Interesting to hear. Not sure if that was picked up through our microphone at ground level, but Glenunga coach Alex Guy just saying there's none on the bench, so they are in the wars at the moment as they go long to full forward. Marini wheels away, finds his brother Mitch. He'll roll onto his left, sells a bit of candy, but he's run down. Brody Wagner got his kick away in the nick of time. Pridham, probably the smallest bloke on the ground versus the biggest bloke on the ground, and hey, lays a nice tackle.
So injury update back. Fletcher Wisman, who we saw leave the field in that first quarter, done for the day. He's not returning for the Rams, and McMahon is gone with that left leg injury as well.
Hat kick there forward by the Glenunga player. Ricky Thomas clears for Salisbury North. Good contest between two guys out on that outer side. And it comes to centre wing. Pumped in long for the Glenunga forwards. Davis off hands, Beyond sells a bit of candy to 1, 2, 3. Gets a handball out. Marini, Carlo Vasidis couldn't quite be clean over that foot he needed to be. Marini to his brother. Ryan Marini gets dumped off the ball. He went down. Umpires didn't see it though, and it's found its way to Noah Thiessen.
North are playing some aggressive football at the moment. Not going over the line just yet, but the umpires have got to be on their game here because they're really pressuring the Glenunga players at every chance. And a couple of late hits, just got to watch them around the ball.
Tyson here from the under-18s Glenunga Footy Factory from right on 50. Looks to have got the journey, but he's pushed it to the outer side. So that's their second behind of the quarter. And that brings the margin to 7 points. Hay comes long and strong out of full-back. Richard in position A takes a nice mark. He's starting to have a bit of an influence in this second quarter. They've got blokes streaming forward. Off hands now. Can Pearce get on the end of it? He can. He kicks a little check side ball and Costanzo's on the end of it. No, he's dropped it. Right at the last second. It must have just bobbled out. And it's a ball up right on the goal line.
Still in a very dangerous spot for the Rams. Can they get their bodies in there and defend this? Hawks pushing. Looking to add on there. 7-point lead. Lead hasn't touched more than a couple of goals all day. Umpire Smitheram chucks it up. One down by the ruckman. West arrives quickly to pull the shutters. And a bit of a mismatch in size there as Clouden just picks him up. West, nice tap down. One at ground level, arriving on the scene quickly as the ball dribbles out of their back 50. Here's Brown. Spots the target. Pridham, he put himself in the hole. Great contested mark. Rams move out of their back 50. Spread out. Mitch Marini's kick. And it's all Salisbury North behind the footy. Intercept mark by Russo. Wagner slices it inside 50. Rams arrive in numbers. Ball at ground level. Comes out the back and the Rams, they built the wall beautifully here. The Hawks. Wagner takes it again.
He's had a stack of it.
Sideways kick to Hayes on. Wants to pump it inside 50 instead. Clouden gets back. First hands as Carlo Vasitas arrives. O'Brien there. Always trust him to make a smart decision. Claudon comes away with it. Pumped out again by Smith. No real target. But the Rams will take a big deep breath. Contested mark taken by Prosser in the middle of the ground.
Salisbury North had two spare behind the ball, and one could affect right now. Fensom just couldn't quite. It's fallen off hands. That kick's gone 1.5 metres. Brian Marini does well with composure. Pridham's got plenty of time to assess his options. And he's gone to the open Salisbury North player right on the goal line.
Tough mark there. The ball was just spinning all sorts of sideways.
Yeah, it was a bit of a mung, wasn't it? Fensom does well. He's had a really good start to this game. Deacon now all on his own in the pocket. Has time for 3 bounces. 4 as he comes to centre wing. Handballs to McBride. He kicks a nice looking ball to Costanzo, and that's well done there by the Hawks.
Great job by the Hawks, but if you're on the Rams coaching bench, that was way too easy. Just pushing back that zone, just leaving kind of over the top, and once you push back that zone an extra meter, the next kick's easy to hit, and then all of a sudden you're inside 50.
This for number 2 of the quarter and for the game for Dom Costanzo. From 50. And they love it. Costanzo's kicked the only 2 for the quarter. And that just extends the margin to just over 2 goals on the Kieran Hayaketsu Vodka Lemon Soda scoreboard. And he comes to the bench for a well-earned rest, does Costanzo. And his good mate Hocking will replace him.
Salisbury North now since 2021 for Dom Costanzo. Before that, played some footy at South Gawler. And also reserves and league action for Central
everywhere.
District, yep. And Kapunda before that. A real stalwart of this game. All the experience coming to the fore now for Salisbury North. They're going to put themselves up a couple of goals. That'll do nicely. Sling tackle just over the top from the Rams. And it's hurt Just picking himself up, McBride. He'll get the free kick. Trainer out to him to check he's okay. Walking by Wagner as well, making sure he can take his kick. Touch affected on the outer side. In the trainer's hands. Waves them away. He'll approach and kick from about 48. Chance to put a gap of more than 3 goals now on the scoreboard.
Hay just running around the back there for the handball. Didn't get it. He must fancy himself, or he's going to put it in the hot spot. Wait and see.
So we'll test the distance. Not a skerrick of breeze at Webb Oval. Second quarter. Just on 17.5 minutes played. Leads at 13. Got the distance. He'll push it all the way to the line. Touch. Just pounded it a little bit too far off the boot, looking to push the distance. It was on target, but just lost the accuracy in flight. So the Kieran Hayoketsu scoreboard lead now of 14 points, 4-7 to 2-5. The Rams bring it back in at half back.
Be interesting to see how the Rams respond to half-time now, with a couple of blokes down on the bench. I think they're down to 1. I think Temmie's got the patch-up job for that blood rule that we saw earlier. So they'll be running on fumes come the end of this game. They've got plenty of quality out there, though, to form a little bit of a comeback. Down by 14 points at the moment. They've worked this well to half forward. It goes long to a one-on-one. Marini. Nice mark. Mark's on 45. Probably kick from 48. No doubt he's got the skill and the distance. Just a question of accuracy. And it's much needed. Is an understatement.
Just filling that void of Michael McMahon, who's left the game with an injury. Really smart footballer, Mitchell Marini. He's played for Sturt and the Crows in the Sandford, as we were mentioning earlier.
From 48. Looks good. He loved it straight off the boot. And that's a much needed goal.
North will be really unhappy with that goal. They've dominated in terms of forward half and have been really the better team in this second quarter. And it's only a 7-point lead on the scoreboard for Luke Harbell's men. See if the Rams can hang in there for the next quarter and a bit. Fill these patches for the holes, for the band-aids over the gaps. A lot now on the shoulders of Abe Davis. See Pridham in for this centre bounce. West in there as well.
It looks to be Ryan Marini as well in that centre bounce on the far side.
Spinning those magnets on the board. The new coach, Alex Guy, looking to find a couple of answers around the ball. West, great shepherd for Pridham. Changes direction beautifully and now leading up for it. Tom B, and he dropped it off his chest. Now finds himself over the footy in a bit of danger. Tried to get to his feet and that saved him.
Just on that Marini goal. First one for the club, obviously coming across this season.
Fay picked himself up, laid a great tackle. There's Ryan Marini. He's taken down. Beautiful inside ball. Is the captain O'Brien. Just tries to edge himself under the footy. Can't pick it up. West does. Coming back in for it. Marini at ground level. Not sure there's much to argue about there. Read him like a horse. Or maybe a donkey at a little fair.
Bit of afters there too from Hellabout.
Just being a little bit scrappy at ground level. He took down Nick Eager, and it will be a downfield free kick. Running pass, wants it back. Does Jesse Tem?
Wait till Abe gets there. You got 30 seconds before he plays you on. I thought it was a key forward.
Here's Bennett from about 51. Bit too far out. Running past. And shepherded out. Held on the goal square. Free kick directly in front now for the Rams. Salisbury North, a bit scrappy now into time on. It's a warmish afternoon, about 25 degrees. And Prosser wins the holding free kick directly in front. Chance for 2 in a row.
I think we can put this one in the book. 30 goals in his last 2 seasons, Harry Prosser.
Wasting no time. Prosser comes in, makes the umpire bend the back. Kicks truly. 4 goals apiece now, and for all the Hawks, good work in the early part of this quarter. The Rams have pushed that door back open. 2-point deficit. They're down to 1 on the bench. But they're right back in this game. 4-5, 29, 4-7, 31. And they can sense the lead and smell a bit of a mini comeback in this quarter. Hawks by 2 points, and they're hearing Kieran Hayoketsu scoreboard.
Yep, we're back to where we started this quarter. In a similar trend, Salisbury North with a bit of momentum early on, and Glenunga fighting back well. So this is shaping up to be a rip snorter of a contest. Ryan Marini, as he did so often for Adelaide Uni, wins a clearance. Back to West, and it's kicked long to centre half forward. Davis getting under it. Off hands, Bien. Good handball, Fenson to Lawler. Costanzo should mark, and does. Will he move it on quick? He wants to. Can see the urgency that Salisbury North want to play with. Richard off hands, or was it Deacon? Clean below his knees. The kick was only as far as Glenunga though. It's made its way to Cormac Dwyer, who has time for 2 bounces on that outer wing. Time to steady and go long. It's even matchups down in the forward line. They probably spoiled each other. Perhaps Davis pressuring Fensom. Short kick was not 15. It's called play on. Wagner should see this one out, and he does.
So the match of the day so far, Spock with a handy 7-goal lead away at Payneham approaching half-time. Port by the same margin against Broadview.
Hey, Westy.
And Rocks are down by 16 points at half-time against Prince Alfred. Keep it here.
Yep. Keep this stream locked on your televisions, because this is going to go down to the wire. Good spoil. Kicking in danger, perhaps? No. O'Brien with a nice little kick forward. Hellabout just pumps it long and says, get on the end of this one, Joey Brown. Carla Vasidis will lead him to the ball first. Holland tackles well. Back to Carla Vasidis. Hellabout with an excellent smother. Can he find a teammate? O'Brien, they're queuing up in there. And the one wins out. O'Brien, excellent second effort, lays a nice tackle. And 40 from home. The Hawks have a chance to get a late one before half-time.
O'Brien's just never out of it, is he? Overran it, but he just came back in. Fleet-foot, laid a great tackle, as you said.
And he's back involved now. Shrugs one, gets the kick forward. Falls on deaf ears. Holland lays a nice tackle on. Looks to be Carla Vasidis again in those red boots. Clawton and West. Can Clawton feed one of those mosquitoes down there? Costanzo under the clearing ball. Dwyer hacks it forward. Ryan Marini and fence him in a one-on-one. It's bounced in probably Marini's favour to be able to lay some pressure. And it's a 2-on-1 now. He's done really well. Fence him. Never giving up. Marini, though, is able to get a kick forward. Lawler all over his opposite number. It's found its way to Pridham. Not 15 is the call. Dwyer working from the wing. He's kicked a nice snap.
Now we put the extra behind.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Jack Moore, that's their first lead of the afternoon.
Yeah, back in this game. Big style. Cormac Dwyer kicks the goal when we're almost at half-time. They did beautifully there because North had dropped a spare man back in D50. Looked like Russo was the spare. And the kick inside 50 went over his head, so Russo was kept out of it.
Hats off to Ryan Marini there in that 2-on-1 on the outer side. Was able to shrug both of them eventually in, get it forward, and the numbers won out. And the Glenunga men streamed forward and were able to get reward on the scoreboard.
Real confidence from Dwyer. Crossing over from Spock. Surplus to requirements this year at St. Peter's.
Especially with the amount of ins they've got.
Real talent, though, is Dwyer, and Glenunga licked their lips as he became available. Played some footy at Sturt in the reserves last season. 7 games in 2023, I should say. The under-18s the season before that at the Double Blues. As he adds the final goal of that quarter, Cormac Dwyer. And if we said this about 15 minutes ago, you wouldn't have believed us, but the Rams are on top. 5-5-35. Salisbury North 4-7-31. North have dominated the first half of both quarters, and Glenunga have just pulled the arm wrestle back in their favour in the second half of both quarter one and quarter two. Down with a couple of major injuries, as we understand it. Fletcher Wisman in that first quarter will not return, and a left leg injury for Michael McMahon in that second quarter. The same fate for the big forward. And if Glenunga can pull a win out here, it would be quite inspirational. They're down to only one on the bench at half-time. The Rams, 5-5-35. Salisbury North, 4-7-31. And the goals so far in this match.
For the Rams, all singles. Bean, McMahon, Mitch Marini, Prosser and Dwyer. And for the Hawks, Russo and O'Brien in that first quarter, kicking one each. And Costanzo kicking their two of the second quarter.
Half-time scores before we leave you for a quick break. St. Peter's 51, Payneham 13. That's away from home as Spock flexed their muscle in season 2025, coming off a great win against Golden Grove last week. The reigning premiers, Port District 56, Broadview 9, approaching half-time. And on the Stream Team game, Prince Alfred 44, Rocks 28. Around the grounds, of course, brought to you by our sponsors, Filming Footy and Sports Interactive. At half-time here at Webb Oval, it is a tough matchup. And one more half-time score. Forgot to bring you the Golden Grove and Shock score at half-time out at Harpers Field. We'll bring you that as it loads here on our Dartfish screen. Golden Grove 51, Shock 28. So this is our game of the day so far. The tightest at half-time. Rams 5-5-35. The Hawks 4-4-31. A 4-point lead. Back with the second half shortly.
Nice one.
Told you paying them a crap.
Yeah, you did. You did.
was on track for an 80 and they subbed him. Yeah, it's good.
Young player.
Fucking Bustling was a sub.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Not happy. My bench is absolutely ridiculous now.
Bad.
Moraes, Stone, Campo, Finn, O'Sullivan. Why is he still playing NFL? I don't know. Dwyer, Bustling out. I'm going crazy this week because I've got Oliver. I had Riley Sanders, so I had to go to him.
Yep.
He's on 50, which
Yeah.
is good. How are you that 130? I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, I know.
But that was sweet. That was sweet. So I've got Reed and Trainer on field twice. They're my rookies.
Yeah.
They're long. Still got Finn Callahan, who's been just getting it done. And so I know it's not smart, but I'm going to go Sanders down to Hewitt, who's expensive, but he's got a good role at West Coast. But so I can get Dunkley, but also have cash next week for Sheasel.
Dude, I traded into Jackson for because I was too scared to pull the trigger on like Sheasel or Barrett or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I went,
What happened to him? I didn't watch him very closely. Same role? Or did you
you were half back. I couldn't hear it.
60, wasn't it?
It was bad. I just sort of watched it.
Isn't it horrible when you get it and you like look forward to watching the game? Me with Zorko. So I got Zorko in, made him captain for that one.
Brisbane game?
75 was it? Or no?
Yeah.
And it's just like 79, yeah. And you just like it's just like you can't watch the game, you can't watch the next game. It's like fuck this shit. And it was either him or Whitfield.
Yeah.
I think over 3 weeks it was like a 200-point game, which is not good.
Because you picked it up, we've got no bench.
No bench.
No bench now. Who's the other one?
Jack Scott's gone.
Yeah.
That was the
right.
Well, lock it down, maybe put the 16 in the back half.
Oh,
Hold on.
I always reckon that in the old days when you only had 2 on the bench and
Yeah, this is true.
you only came on when somebody was off for the game.
No rotation for there.
Very true.
In this game, it's going to have to be a Herculean effort on the back of perhaps Abe Davis, who, let's be honest, isn't playing at 100% either. West in the ruck, and there is Davis, full forward. The man, the myth, the legend. He's playing on one leg. He's got that right knee strapped up. Not 100%, but even Abe Davis at 60% can drag a team over the line. Great contested mark. He'll line up directly in front to give Glenunga a 10-point lead.
Right on cue. 45 goals last year, 11 games with multiples, so he knows where the big sticks are.
Too big, too strong in that marking contest. Just drifts all over the ground. Like a seashell in the ocean, and just bobs up. Clean as a whistle every time. He just peels away from that kick. No celebration, no fist pump. Dragged it left. Big opportunity missed in the first minute of this quarter.
We gave him the major hype and he let us down.
Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. 5-point lead for Alex Guy's Glenunga. Luke Harble missing, of course, for the Hawks, but now with the Rams down to 0 on the bench. Wiseman, Scott and McMahon's day are all done. Can the Rams hold it in their forward half and come out with the victory? Nice bump at ground level, O'Brien. Getting down and dirty. Russo, and now the Hawks look to get their play moving inside 50. Oh, he stood under it, didn't attack the footy. Temi came at it, earned the spoil and earned the footy, and now Carla Vasitas on the outer side finds an open man. Inside 50 for the Rams. Running under it was Davis. Unusual to see him do that. Ryan Marini keeps it in. And now Tommy Behan just carves it towards Abe Davis in the goal square. And when Abe is in the square, it's all but done. And it's a goal for the Rams. They just enforced their will on the Hawks. Pushed it down the ground. And that all came from Jesse Temi at halfback, winning that ball back for the Rams. And that is a not quite a goal assist, but it's all from that man just attacking, winning the 1%er, and it ends up with a goal for Davis, and now an 11-point lead for the Rams.
Sensational call there, Jack. Summed it up beautifully. And that is a huge moment to start this second half for the Rams, as we've alluded to. And we will, because it is important. They have no one on the bench. Be a huge effort if they had to hang on, and they're right in the box seat now. 2 goals in front. Pearce to Wagner. He's got the journey from here. Decides to set it up. Hocking couldn't outmuscle his opponent. And Temi, in the thick of it early, clears for Glenunga. Carla Vasitas holding Wagner there, the Brody variety. He's got a couple options in the forward 50. Richard all on his own will fly from the back. Spoil coming across there was Zach Smith. Hell about now, has time to assess and find a mark. Doesn't though. Richard, known for his follow-up work. He's pushed Marini over the line.
He could have,
and he just buys the troops an extra 30 seconds, throwing it 20 metres into the car park.
he could have called the Kimberley Resorts and booked his stay. That would have been mark of the year, just over the back.
Davis just marshalling the troops behind the ball. He is in this contest.
Nate Davis that knows he can't come to the bench for the rest of the game.
He will be very upset about that, I think. Holland and West now. Holland works his way to the front. Does well to get a tap down. And follows up with a nice tackle too.
Hawks captain O'Brien about to come back into the fray, frothing in the mouth to rejoin the contest.
We know he'll do anything to will his side over the line.
Take care of Russo, eh?
Even ball in the ruck contest. Holland takes his man high. The umpire hasn't seen it though.
Missed call that one for mine because he was over the footy picking it up, and when you're over the footy getting the ball, you should win yourself a free kick, and now it's gone the other way. I dare say that might be for a bit of dissent and abuse. I think, Jack, you called it perfectly. And a free kick now for Holland. We're directly behind this kick on Filming Footy.
2 goals last week, Jake Holland. This is so crucial to get the Hawks back in it in this third quarter. And he's pushed it to the near side, just leant back on it slightly. And that brings the margin to 10 points. Feels like Glenunga have just taken the sting out of this game just a little bit. There's not as much energy coming from the Hawks bench and the players out on the ground. Just to start this third quarter as Zach Smith goes long and strong down the middle from fullback.
Dodge a bullet there, the Rams. Now Pridham, he's collected and taken high. Head over the footy, and the umpire protects him, as they should. Pridham, a lot of power in that small boot, all the way down. Oh, just asserting the dominance on this contest, but he couldn't take it on the chest. Got to pick himself up from about 35 around. Abe Davis Pridham around the ball now, pushing forward. Redmond off the back of this, just playing on that wing. Swinging his way through. There's Dwyer looking to get involved. Ball just fell the other way of the contest. Comes out. Picked up. Chance.
Huge opportunity there.
Massive for Mitch Marini.
A player of his skill would have liked to have put that one through.
No body contact on him from Todd Pearce. Will he learn his lesson? Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard, 43-32. Rams 11-point lead. Ball was touched, coming in, not 15 perhaps. Take your pick. Brown didn't seem to know it. Spilled out of bounds. And they'll throw it in. The Rams have lifted in this third quarter, knowing they're down to zilch, zip on the bench. It's all them on the field looking to push their margin out beyond 2 goals.
Strong energy coming from the players out there, trying to galvanise each other. Applauding every little 1%er effort. Claughton Davis in the box seat there, taps it down nicely to Dwyer. Gets a kick away, but it looks to be going out on the foot. And Murray Bastick, who's played well off that half-back line, will bring this one in. Does he look to go for a switch? Hasn't been many switches from either side today, actually. They've both gone sort of LDL. West gets a nice handball out. Carla Vasidis, Pridham, he's starting to insert himself on the game. Davis again, he's been in everything in this third quarter. Oh, on the third attempt, it fell in his right mitt.
Absolute control, but just needs to put it on the scoreboard. So much experience, Abe Davis, in the knee full for the Swans before he crossed over to SA, of course, playing a dominant role in Sandford football at Sturt and the reigning Div 1 Player of the Year in the Adelaide Footy League. This would be huge.
In a 1-point win last week, he was influential. 3 goals for the Big Bear, Abe Davis. This for his second of the afternoon. From right on the paint. Gives it everything, but it's not going to make the distance. Prosser's claiming the mark. The umpire said it was off a few hands.
Yeah, there were plenty of hands in that footy.
There was. Very tough to adjudicate a mark there. When in doubt, just call the ball up, play on. Davis gets a hand out. Doesn't find his teammate's chest. Callum Brown gets tackled and dumped after slightly. But the umpire doesn't want a bar of it.
Now, what does Luke Harble do? A man of so much experience playing for Central District needs to pull out some cards here in the second half.
Yeah, it's a great call. It'll be interesting to see what they do. Wagner's got it now. He's been playing it through the middle mainly. He's gone forward. He can provide a spark. Fensom, handballs out. Looks like Hocking involved there. Oh, and the umpire's played holding the ball. I don't think many people were expecting that. And it's with Cormac Dwyer now. He's starting to impose himself. That's a long ball. Who else in the direction of? No one but Davis. Hay now. And they switch to Ricky Thomas. He's got Pearce all on his own. Handballs over the top to Deacon.
Lovely kick.
Richard worked well. He's marked probably 70 from home. He's got Hellabout working into some space. That's a well-weighted kick. And a good mark on the third attempt. Tight in the pocket. In front of the Glenunga High School.
And we give Abe Davis plenty of credit, as we should, but Callum Hay, that was a massive one-on-one win in the goal square. It would have been a set shot directly in front for Davis, but Hay worked Davis under the foot. He took the mark. He's the one that started this forward foray, and now a real chance for Hellabout to finish it off.
In he comes. Oh, just to the near side. He tried to sell it to the umpire. Couldn't quite register his first of the afternoon. He's kicked 5 for the year, so he's in good goal-scoring touch. Hasn't been able to register today. See if they can lock it in their front half as they have done throughout the first half. Trigarchis just goes slow and wide to the pocket. It's going to go long down the line. West, Prosser, Clawton spoils. It's off hands. It's all Glenunga. Good pressure there from Wagner. And he'll be out for a throw-in.
Webb Oval, round 3. In the Adelaide Footy League, Div 1. Both these sides come in at 1-1 after 2 rounds. The great escape last week at Ross Trevor for Glenunga. Otherwise, they'd be zipping to the reigning grand finalists. Lost at Webb Oval in round 1. Their first loss here at home in quite a while. Hoping to get back on the winners list.
Davis is out.
Here at Conningham Street. Over the top is Bean. One more dribble of the ball when Davis is there. But north of back, it falls the way of Big Abe. Nothing is much sweeter than when a ball just falls onto your boot. Abe Davis couldn't help but kick the goal.
Davis's name goes down on the score sheet for that one, but that was all Thomas Bean. Roving as a good small forward should. Followed up his work and kept it in with a nice little tap. And it was finished off into the bottom corner by the Big Abe.
Well called, Jack. Exactly what happened. Summed it up to an absolute T. The magnetic boots of Davis. The one to reap the rewards. His second goal of the quarter. He could have had 3 or 4, in all honesty. But a sweeping move down the outer wing for the Rams. And now a 16-point lead. Salisbury North, Luke Harville. What have you got? And Jordan O'Brien out there as skipper as well. Plenty of talent on show in the green and gold. And now a chance to prove that they're worthy of being at Div 1 level, because the reigning grand finalists have put themselves up and they've put Salisbury North into a corner. Fay with the clearance. Run out of trouble. Bean waiting at ground level. Great tackle coming from Callum Hay at ground level. And it spun around. The ball ended up with him. He took down Lincoln Bennett to start with. Umpire Smitheram balls it up. 40 out. Directly in front. Nice little tap. Guiding hand from Cloughton. Out the front of contest. Salisbury North can't pick it up. Smith can for the Rams. Waiting for it out the back was Thiessen. He can't quite get it. Nobody can. Diving on the footy was Smith. Umpire was just about ready to pay her holding the ball.
He was setting himself in that position.
Ball bounced out to Hellabout. He kept it in. Big ruck contest. Clawton wins out the back, but West affects the clearance. Under it was Pridham. He repositioned for Fay. Collected the handball. Charging out the back. There's Hay. And the umpires will converse. Boundary throw in. 15 around. Glenunga pushing for a match-winning lead. They're up by 16 points.
Decky Fay just starting to insert himself into this game in the third quarter. Best players in both games for the Rams thus far in season 2025. He's looking to go 3-time. Umpire goes to throw it in, just has to reset himself. Hay across, takes it. I've lost for words. That was just a funny piece of play. Off hands now, Pridham does keep it in. Hay bumped off it. O'Brien head over it as always. And the ball will be thrown in. Declan Fay just a bit slow to get to his feet. His throw-in comes in right in front of the Ladies' Day crowd down here at Glenunga. Sensational afternoon for a couple of Kirin Hayaketsu vodka lemon sodas. Lincoln Bennett off hands from the clearance. Prosser through for a behind.
Strong body work from Brown for the Hawks.
And Glenunga just add another one to this lead. And as the time goes on, it's just starting to become a bit of a concern for the Hawks. 3 goals is a lot in a game where they've only kicked 4. What can they conjure up here? Hocking couldn't quite get on the end of it. Declan Fay, it's going to go out on the full. He was eyeing off the sticks. He put his foot through it. Eli Redmond, that was, my bad.
Brother of Essendon's Mason Redmond.
Thomas now. Russo from the back. Can he fly? Gets a good spoil. Costanzo, can he keep it in? He cannot.
Every ground ball.
It's being celebrated like a goal. Every ground ball that they win, every throw-in that they earn, the more time they can soak off the clock. Glenunga is celebrating.
Every 1%er. Every spoil. Falling to the Rams. Great hands from Fay. There's Bennett, and they're just wasting a few inside 50s.
Even 4 goals. Yeah.
3-goal margin on the Korean Hail Ketsu scoreboard. It's becoming a little bit precarious now for the Hawks, but plenty of time, and they're good enough to get back in this game. Clouden with hands like dinner plates there. Couldn't take the mark, but his follow-up was great. And the effective result was a contest. And now a ball up. 60 out from the Rams' goal. Outer side, Webb Oval. Oh, beautiful. Faye running onto it. Set sail for goal. He cast the sticks as his target and pushed it away to the right-hand side. Handy behind. Is it too early to say that? 7-10 to 4-9, a 19-point lead. Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. And Salisbury North, well, they're allergic to the inside 50 right now for them. They need a goal, need it quickly. We've ticked past the 12-minute mark in this third quarter.
O'Brien off hands, Fensom. Back to O'Brien. Costanzo is going to be in hot pursuit. Thomas under pressure. They've got numbers if they can work it through hands and get a kick. Costanzo, chipping ball to Fensom. I've loved Fensom's game this afternoon.
It's all one-on-one ahead of the footy here.
Holland, he's got to bring this to ground. 3-on-1, he does well. Hellabout, stayed down. He sizes him up from 50, gets over the back. Richard, can he keep it in? Brody Wagner tries to sidestep. Handball to the opposite number. Hellabout. Goal! 13 points. Much needed for the Hawks.
That's a huge goal. And I tell you what, they swept it inside 50. And the allergy has been cured. They couldn't get it anywhere near an attacking zone of the ground for the first half of this quarter and a little bit of that last quarter. Rams had just pushed the numbers back whenever it went over the midway point of the ground. But that time, the hard work inside 50 to keep it alive when it was destined to go through for a rush behind. Hellabout was the one that stayed down initially, and he kept working hard and got himself on the end of it. Salisbury North, I mentioned they had the talent to get back in this game, and they're showing it now. Revved up that chainsaw, and they're pushing hard. Great Shepherd after the kick was gone. Hellabout, fair and legal. Letting the Rams know they're in for a contest. Here's Lawler. Turned it over straight to Pridham. Pushing. Incisive ball. Davis taken high. Contested mark. Take your pick. The A. Davis lucky dip inside forward 50. He'll line up directly in front.
You can just see Hay was trying to get to the front spot, but Davis just did enough.
He's got his own gravitational pull
to the ball
when he goes inside forward 50.
Protected the ball drop, and it was hard, even for a man as strong as Callum Hay, to work him under it.
Big moment, that last goal for Salisbury North.
For his third of the quarter.
To close that margin back up. Again, Abe Davis just pulled it all closed for the moment. Directly in front, Big Abe. Loved it as soon as it hit the boots. A major for Davis. The Glenunga football program revolves around that man. He's got his own pull and will. And determination is so great. Willing the Rams. That's his third goal of the quarter. He could have had 5. Margin now pushes back to what it was moments ago. 8-10, 56, 5-9, 39, 58, I should say. 19-point lead on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard.
How can the Hawks respond? Just over Wagner's head. Faye. Kick forward, off hands though by Redmond. No mark to be paid. Davis drives a big knee
He's hurt
into the
himself
back
there.
of Brown and hurt himself in the process. Carla Vasitas going to get run down.
He's still down, the big man, Abe Davis. Trainers rushing out. We'll keep you posted. Salisbury North, though. The aggression they've showed all day has been inspirational. It's at their door now to string together a couple of goals. Glenunga zilch on the bench, which means the Hawks should have the run in the last half of this quarter. And they pushed it inside 50 now through Hay, all the way to the teeth of goals. Great spoil. And Tregarchis escorts it out as they congratulate each other in the back 50. Abe Davis is up. He's pointing. He's back to 100% in the blink of an eye. He can't come to the bench for a rest, so he thought he might well have a bit of a lie down inside 50 for a minute. And he's back up, exclusively forward in this quarter. Inside forward 50 for the Hawks. Swirling and swooping. Smith handball. Nobody in particular. Hawks ready for it. That's going to go all the way. Oh, he touched it. He got to the boot. Wagner, a miracle goal. And the tail wags again. It was all but lost. And somehow in the blink of an eye, Wagner got boot to ball. Margin just cuts back down. Time on. Have Glenunga spent all their petrol tickets? We're about to find out. Back to a 13-point lead.
Westy, 5.5 minutes. Let's take some sting out of the game. 5.5. Go down.
I think it'll be opposite messaging from either box. Alex Guy just calling for some calm. I think Salisbury North will want to try and put the foot on the throat if they can. Try and overrun this side that have no bench rotation. Deacon couldn't find a teammate with his shovel handball. Advantage paid, not quite. Marini wanted it. And Lincoln Bennett's going to have a free kick in the centre circle for a hold. Russo getting into the hole. And he needs to because Davis is putting on a clinic in this third quarter. Fence him under it. Takes a strong mark. In the Jake Wagner direction. Takes a nice mark just over at Ryan Marini's head. He's got Deacon inboard. Looks like he's going there. Hellabout needs to bring this to ground. Goes for the mark. McBride gets a handball out. Doesn't find Pierce. Tregarchis kicks forward. Fisher in the hole. Does well to keep it in front. Lawler and Bean. That's been a good contest. Lawler puts McBride under serious heat. Marini drove the head through and earned a high one. Pridham goes long, fence him in the hole again. Prosser just coming across in front of Davis, and he's been driven into the ground.
It wasn't the kick from Pridham. They had a couple of short options on. The coaching instruction was to take time out of the game, find the uncontested mark. It's in a good spot, but it could have been better.
Davis wins that one down. Boundary side to Fay. Shrugs one, and he's driven into the ground, probably holding the ball. Hay wanted it. Not given.
Umpire deemed there was no prior, and the ball was lost in the tackle.
That's the best looking runner I've ever seen for Salisbury North.
Thanks, mate.
Camden McIntosh vibes there.
Costanzo and Bennett. Costanzo wraps him up, as well as Deacon. He's not going anywhere.
Massive few minutes here, so we're past 22 and a half gone in this third quarter. Make that 21 and a half. If Salisbury North can pinch a couple of goals, they've got all the run in this fourth quarter approaching. But if Glenunga can get a couple, they can push a few numbers behind the ball in the fourth quarter and try to hang on to this lead. Park the bus, as you'd say.
They certainly will be doing that. It's what they're known for under Nathan Grimer, playing a bit of a boring style of football, as he's talked about in previous interviews. Knows how to win games of footy, this footy club at Division 1 level. Abe Davis with a clever tap. Goal side. Be in now. Can he create something? He's done a few magical things today. Thomas and Hay sit on the little fella. So it's about 20 from home now. Glenunga have work to spare right behind the footy. Russo wins this one, only as far as Thomas. Opperman playing in front of Hellabout. Takes a nice mark. Puts this one up into the spot that is hot. And Russo takes a nice grab.
And great body work from Hay. Just still a bit of a bump on Abe Davis. Affected his run to the footy.
Not long left in this third quarter now. Thanks to Filming Footy and Sports Interactive. Hellabout was about to kick, but he was indecisive. And it's proved costly. He's coughed the footy up. Pridham, Marini. Good spoil, Deacon.
Oh.
And the umpires found a free for a high.
Great quarter from Declan Fay.
Declan, completely agree. I knew what you were going to say there, Jack. And he's sized up a couple from range. Just goes to put this one to the hot spot. Davis gets a fist down. Bastic only as far as West.
Geordie West, last 2 minutes of a hot third quarter. An overcast afternoon, Webb Oval, both these teams 1-1. This is the fortress for the Rams. They lost here in round 1.
That's ironic.
First loss in a long time. Not keen to make it 0-2 at home this season. Pridham drives it inside. Hay went early and gave away the free kick.
This has been some performance from Glenunga in this third quarter.
That's the fear that Abe Davis puts into you as an opposition defender. And Callum Hay can have no complaints in the Dartfish replay. Flew for the footy, didn't make contact with the Sharon. And blocked Abe's run to the ball. And this is the biggest kick of the day. 13-point lead approaching three-quarter time. Rams down to 0 on the bench. Minor score.
20 seconds. Let's take care of the area.
Three-quarter time siren approaching.
Ball doesn't get over the back.
Big fourth quarter of storylines. Salisbury North will have the petrol tickets, undoubtedly. They have the advantage in terms of energy, but the Rams have a 14-point lead on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. And with seconds remaining, one last thrust. Siren beats the Hawks. But have the Rams put enough of an advantage on the scoreboard? They're up by 14 points. Three-quarter time. Some quarter from Glenunga.
Some quarter from Glenunga. No one on the bench, as we've alluded to. They just dominated clearance, and then from there they're able to dominate territory. It's what they're known for. And most importantly, they've been able to put it on the scoreboard. 3 goals, 5 in that quarter. So much scoreboard pressure. It's so critical. And potentially the 2 goals, 5 that Salisbury North kicked in the first quarter could come back to haunt them. They definitely could have had a much bigger lead at quarter time and half time. And I guess the same could be said for Glenunga. 3 goals, 6. Plenty of gettable opportunities in those 6 behinds. They could have an even bigger lead, and we definitely wouldn't have thought that coming out of half time, but they put the foot on the throat in that third quarter.
Saturday afternoon, Div 1 Adelaide Footy League football brought to you, of course, by Filming Footy, Dartfish, Farmers Leap, Sports Interactive, Archie's, Jag Meatworks, Kimberley Resorts, High Five E-Bike, custom by ORTC, sponsors coming out of our ear holes, and between the posts on the Adelaide Footy League Facebook page wraps up the entire Adelaide Footy League on a Tuesday. Check it out. Three-quarter time, Webb Oval. Take a breath, grab some nibbles and a couple of drinks. Back for the fourth quarter after this. Rams by 14 points, down to 0 on the bench. Salisbury North should have what it takes to overrun them. But will they? Join us to find out in a matter of moments.
Goddamn.
You got ranking?
No, it wasn't.
No, he's on fire.
Winning it was
Fire.
I don't care about fantasy. Unless it's
27. Yeah. We should beat Carlton. Hopefully. They're not that great.
Who's been good and better players, you reckon?
Yeah, I was going to say to you, I have like nobody in my head. I mean, Abe that quarter.
Yeah, that was crazy. Faye that quarter as well.
Faye was crazy.
Need a little like moments and like
Dwyer,
quarters. Yeah,
Marini,
was actually pretty good.
even Tommy B and a couple of 1%ers.
Yeah,
I like Costanzo. I like Elabauer.
Deakin was good in the first half, but
Wagner's had a couple of moments. Tricky one, like, oh yeah, no one's been, I don't think anyone's been like, head and shoulders. Might be one where we just ask the coaches
yeah,
a bit.
yeah.
We're upset with that. Who wins here? In that bro. I still reckon it's $3 comes over the top.
Well, I don't think there's enough from what I've seen.
I know, but
They have really good connection in the first half, like going forward, and that was just lost in that third quarter.
is that enough for the league though? Like, I just don't know.
Yeah.
They got some. Their best players, the guys that rest.
Yeah.
I feel. But then again,
Like West.
yeah. But then again, they play this ground best, obviously.
Yeah, I reckon they'll try and take it on. Run hard. With like run and gun style. Yeah.
But you're right. There's been no real space at all for them to play their game, and that's kind of like this this ground too. Like that's what happened to them at Norwood Oval in the grand final.
Yeah.
They're used to Salisbury North,
Massive rival.
and it's like what happens to the AFL teams down in Geelong.
Yeah.
Like they're just everything's so compacted,
Yeah.
and they just can't kind of get out of space. They can't really play their game as well as they want to. That's
From a
I don't
head.
know. Interesting. Let's check out some other games.
Well, just like when you're starting to walk. What about sitting down? Yeah. What are you thinking? Like what has happened?
Payne,
Where are we going a little bit earlier?
fourth by Olivia. Bring us back.
Minutes away from an absolute cliffhanger of a finish here at Webb Oval between Glenunga and Salisbury North. The home side leading by 14 points. This fourth quarter brought to you by our sponsors, Filming Footy, Sports Interactive, Classic Clashes, custom by ITC, High Five e-bikes, where the player of the year will get a $2,000 electric bike, thanks to High Five e-bikes, Startfish, Archie's, Jag Meatworks, Kimberley Resorts, where the mark of the year will win a 3-night stay at Kimberley Resorts up in the top end in Broome. And programs to fit. Jack Bello and Jack Moore bringing you home on this last quarter. What have you seen, Jack, throughout the three quarters? The home side 14 points to the good.
Yeah, I've seen a home team that plays this over the best of any team in this competition, just really closing it up, suffocating Salisbury North in that third quarter, despite being down to 0 players on the bench. And Salisbury North trying to play their way, run and gun, but the space has just not been there for them to play that style. And the question is, can they adapt quickly enough in this fourth quarter to put themselves with the footy in dangerous positions? Because Glenunga have been best at just pushing that extra man back. It's easy on a small ground. And if it was a bigger ground, that lack of rotations might cost the Rams energy-wise, but it might just, this lead might just be enough.
Starts in the middle for Salisbury North. They need to win it out from there. O'Brien, the inspirational skipper, is going to try and kickstart that momentum. Russo taps it forward. Ricky Thomas tries to draw the high one. Handballs to Russo. Gets a handball out. He does not, according to the umpire. West holding the ball.
Just took too long, the umpire said. Had enough prior.
He did
handball came too late.
He stuck the one arm out to try and fend, didn't he? And must have just taken too long. Opperman now. I dare say the message from Alex Squire will be kill this game at all costs. Down the line, numbers to contest, repeat stoppages. Opperman off the side of his boot. Fensom, Russo. Little low chiseler off someone's head. I think it was a Falcon. Wagner, can he do something special from half forward? Soccer kick forward now. Found its way to Bean and Pridham all on their own on the wing. Davis, that man again. Holding against this time. And Hay has the free kick at fullback.
Hay 1, Abe Davis 0. First contest of this fourth quarter. That would be crucial if the Rams can get it inside forward 50. Abe took the points in that third quarter with 3 goals. Salisbury North waiting down Wagner. Read it like a book.
Hell about one out.
All one-on-one. Who wants it?
Right.
Closing quickly was Opperman. Couple of good moments in this fourth quarter. Ground level O'Brien. High contact. He's the captain for the Hawks.
Oh no.
Short ball to spread the field.
Not ideal.
Not on Webb Oval. There's no space if you miss your target. Brown was the target. Over his head. Last possession. Rams reload.
Carlo Vasidis in front of the Kieran Ayaketsu vodka lemon soda scoreboard. 14 points the margin, no score in this fourth quarter for either side. Russo takes a nice intercepting mark.
A mark of the day contender for Born to Build.
In the Wagner direction. Good spoil. Pearce trying to track this one down. Does he keep it in? He does. And he didn't have it. So he's earned a free kick. And he gives his opponent some afters.
Intelligent from Pearce, wasn't it? He knew that if he picked it up, he'd be tackled straight away. So just wait for the body contact, just push it out in front. Knew that he was going to be tackled, and he just didn't pick it up. Forced the Rams player to make that tackle, knowing that he didn't know if he had the possession or not. Smart footy.
Wheels around on the left foot for a snap. Near side.
On the wrong side, unfortunately for him. They've got to take those chances, the Hawks, though.
They certainly do. They need to make every post a winner. 3 goals here at Webb Oval is a mountain to chase down. Lincoln Bennett and Fisher in a one-on-one. Russo lands heavily in a bit of a daze by the looks of things. Fensom loved his third quarter off half-back. Streams away. Hay calling for the switch. He marks in front of Carlo Vasidis. And he's about 70 from home. Can he lower the eyes and find a mark? Holland!
One grab, 2, and the one time they've switched it, there's not much space here at Webb Oval, but it just gives an extra metre or 2 as the defensive zone is stretched. Gives a little small, tiny little pocket for the forwards to lead into, and you could see there wasn't much space because the mark was contested, but Hollands did well to hold on to it.
He had a shot in the third quarter that he sprayed through for a minor. This needs to go in, and it has! His first of the afternoon. Brings the margin to 7 points. That's the start that the Hawks needed.
Big goal for Salisbury North, much required. Does that make the Rams just drop their heads a bit in this fourth quarter? We'll find out. Early goal, just what they needed. Under 5 minutes gone, so barely any time played. And the margin closes in on the home team. Plenty of exhilaration and confidence on the Hawks bench. Clouden punched it out. Deacon runs onto it. Fortunate. Great pick up, Pearce. Just couldn't take it with him. Big booming kick towards the goal square. Just off target. Richard reels it in. Out of bounds. Boundary throw in. 6 minutes gone. A goal here would cut it back to a 1-point lead. Rams lost in round 1 at Webb Oval. 1-point win at Campbelltown against newly promoted Rocks in round 2. The two Div 2 teams against last year's best team in round 2 and 3. There's Davis coming up to meet it. Pridham lays a tackle. Lawler handball. Teeson out. Here's Bastick. That's a bombastic attempt. Throw it in, says umpire Kane. Some contact off the ball. He threw the head back. Spread a fair bit of mayo on that one.
Yeah, straight in the chest.
No high contact from the Dartfish replay. Tried to sell it. You don't doubt him for doing it. The ball hoiked over the head of the boundary umpire. Well done. Great fair contest. Diminutive Hocking on the boot quickly. Costanzo at full speed.
He was coming through like a steam train then.
Put extra coal in the engine. Tough angle here at Webb Oval. Looks easy from this position, but the pockets are deceptively shallow. Costanzo lines up and he just pushed it across the face. But they're coming in this fourth quarter, the Hawks. Have Glenunga run out of steam. Yet to hit the 10-minute mark, and the margin is a solitary goal.
The first half play resumes, all in Salisbury North, front half of the ground, as they'll go inside 50 again. Wagner, Pearce playing in front. Umpires paid a push on Marini. So Pearce will pump it in long from 55. I doubt he's got the journey. Deacon's there, he might get a handball here. Got a big booming kick on him himself. And he's tripped over, tried to sell some candy. And he made a bit of a meal out of it. Bennett does well to clear. Marini sitting under it, got crunched by Fisher. 4-on-1 here for the Hawks. Thomas, the one wins out. Prosser, good tackle. But it come out. Wagner finds Clawton. He plays on. Little Chisler to Richard. He marks on 55. Holland one out, hell about in the square.
Umpire was a long way away. You missed a clear throw on this near side, but it was in a mix of bodies.
Richard sets it up, Pearce. But in the hole. Sensational mark.
Born to build mark of the week contender.
Certainly, Mitch Marini. Doing it at both ends. Kicked a goal in that second quarter.
Yeah, all good, mate. Yep. Just catch it.
Richard, good spoil. Hocking. Richard follows up his work. 2-on-1 there for the Rams. And he's been taken high. Richard lets him know about it too. He's not happy.
Get back! Get back!
25-metre penalty. Richard couldn't help himself. Went in for seconds. O'Brien stands the newly made mark on this near side. Welcome relief for Glenunga. Take a deep breath, Rams fans. Pumps it inside their forward half. West with the fist coming through Hay. Needs to handball it out. Does now. Ground level. Pridham wrapped up Fensom. Into the square. Dragged it in. Needed to knock it clear. It fell into the grasp of Hay. He picks himself up. Ball up. Great defensive effort inside that contest. Lincoln Bennett was the tackler and now pushed forward by Hocking. Straight into his own man. Fortunate pickup. 1-on-1 contest. There's the man that gave away the 25-metre penalty. Richard, chance to atone. Boundary line wins the day. 6-point Glenunga lead. Couldn't be in a more dangerous position for the Hawks.
I was just thinking Glenunga would have had that ball right where they would have wanted it in their front half, but Hocking and Wagner did well to clear and get it as far away and into their own half as possible to try and get another score, which they desperately need now. Holland front position, Costanzo off hands. Some calls for a free, but not to be. Hell about, great smother. Hocking clean below his knees. And he's been pushed in the back after he handballed it. Has Hocking. Glenunga probably had the last touch out of bounds free there because he handballed it straight out of bounds, missed his opponent. This one he probably should have kicked in the second term. Hemmed in right in front of the ladies stand here at Glenunga. From 50 to the near side, out on the full.
On the Darfish replay, it was fantastic umpiring. Straightened his back. The tackle wasn't legal, but he could not make the most of the opportunity. They're peppering here, the Hawks.
But I'm going to bring this one back in. I dare say they'll just go long, and they do. Hay, the free man, couldn't quite mark, and he impacts on a second attempt. Crunches Bennett in a strong tackle.
12 minutes gone. Final quarter. What a contest.
An even 6 points the margin. West wins it down. Russo follows up. Thomas has one over the top. Sells a nice bit of candy. Needs to get it on the boot. Into the chest of Holland.
It's living inside the forward half for the Hawks.
Certainly is. Wagner, he was eyeing off the handball receive. Jake Wagner to level the scores.
He's kicked 2 of the last 3 goals now for the Hawks. And we're back to where we started over 2 hours ago. All level, and it's a 15-minute sprint to the finish.
Great game awareness there from Wagner. Knew Holland wouldn't have the distance, and he has a raking right boot. I said he could do something special in this last quarter. And he's provided the spark that they needed.
You called it at 3/4 time, Jack. Have Glenunga left the game on the table in that third quarter with 5 behinds, and Davis, he could have kicked another couple of goals. Had 3 in that quarter, but he left a couple on the table. Great umpiring there. Threw it out, Wagner. He's got a nose for the dish at the moment. Nick Eagers clearing kick. Lawler bodywork. Beautiful body contact by Behan. Did it beautifully. Ryan Marini getting involved. Ground level, Behan looking to get back in there. Ball out the back.
Here we go.
Behan will reposition. Davis coming hard at the ball. He got a hand to it. Oh, handball back into trouble there. Bastic needs to be good. Short clearing possession out to Hay. And now pushing all the way down to halfback. Deacon, shiny boots, wins it. The 1-2 with Bastic. Deacon sprinting down the near wing here at Webb Oval. Just gliding like a gazelle. Holland, this kick is the one. Sits it on Hocking's head.
Deacon again.
Fist came. Deacon from nowhere. Bounces it in front of the target. Rams just looking to clear off the deck. They're in big trouble. Dumping tackle. Look dangerous. Deacon! Something out of nothing from Adam Deacon. From full back to full forward, and the Hawks hit the front. That was unbelievable from Adam. A delicious play from Deacon.
He's been all the rage thus far for the Hawks since coming across from Centrals. And that investment might be just proving it's worth its weight in gold. 3 goals, 2 to zip in this quarter. All those hot summer nights on that big deck in Salisbury North could be proving the fruits now for the Hawks. What can Glenunga do? What's their answer? Free and shot at goal coming up here for Prosser.
This might be...
Contact below the knees.
This might be a leveler. I was watching the Dartfish replay before that goal, and there was a dangerous tackle that probably should have been paid the way of the Rams. Head hit the deck. Umpire said no, and the goal was Converted by Adam Deacon. Now a chance to just level it up on the scoreboard for the Rams.
Prosser now from 50. This one much harder than his first goal. Pushed it. Handy point. Calls from the bench. Handy point. 5 points now.
What a contest we have here. We've ticked just past 16 minutes now. Chuck, you called it. Another goal, and they're up by a point. Rams with none on the bench. Flying in. He grew an extra foot. Hocking couldn't take it with him. G. Deacon's lifted. Last goal to put them in front for the Hawks. Coming in, Costanzo. Hard over the top. It's Deacon again. He put a saddle on Redmond. Wrenched him into the grass.
Umpire was just blindsided there. Redmond did draw the high one, but
not willing to guess, and that's what good umpires should do. Deacon at ground level holds it to Dwyer. Umpire repositioning to get in the perfect position to make the call, and ball up was the correct decision. Weston Russo.
clever tap.
It's a title fight in the ruck. Costanzo swings around. Mark of the week contender. Put himself in the hole. Running back into trouble.
Toby.
Beautiful mark from Jesse. Temmie hits the screwdriver on the share and pumps it out. Adam Deacon's been best on ground in the past 5 minutes. Miracle goal to get him in front. Now a clearance out of contest. All the way to the teeth of goal. Richards down there. Big defensive show here for the Rams. They must defend. Costanzo moves it through hands. Brown looking for an option. Pocket. Richard. Everyone takes a breath around Webb Oval. This to give the Hawks an 11-point lead. Tough angle. 25 out from goal.
Really well worked there from a few players in that chain. Costanzo could have blew away, blazed away, should I say, and then Joey Brown, really good, lowering the eyes to find Richard in the pocket.
Bobby's the midpoint. Richo stays deep, all right? Richo, you're going to have to be the midpoint.
Takes the full 30 seconds, does Tice Richard. Pretty purposeful. The snapback! The guns are out. And Tyson Richard has put the Hawks up by a couple of majors as we tick towards time on final quarter. Rams are running out of juice and the Hawks are swooping over the top.
The number one offence in a small sample size in the Adelaide Footy League is starting to prove their worth, show their attacking qualities. Averaging 95 points a game thus far, the Hawks. This puts them to an even 71. 11 points the margin. What do Glenunga have? Clawton, O'Brien in hot pursuit. Deacon holding Fay, gets a kick away. Redmond in a bit of space. Doesn't take the ball forward. He stops and props, gave Wagner an opportunity to spoil. They've got numbers on if they can use them. Wagner followed up his work and showed a bit of foot. Richard on the half turn. Got his handball out. McBride tried to kick, but didn't make contact holding the ball. Great tackle, Nick Eager.
Could hand it to the umpire there, waited for the tackle to be completed. It was legal, had to be holding the ball. It was. Boundary line, the friend of the Hawks. Brown escorts it over. Could not be closer to the middle of the ground at Webb Oval. Rams need 2 goals. Abe Davis stays at full forward. The regular midfield contingent need to get it done for Glenunga if they're going to win this one. Pridham, electric. He won't run out of juice. Pumps it towards forward 50. Marini did the body work. He goes in again. Pridham's always there. Bennett had Davis over the top in a mismatch. Blazed away, and that is what fatigue does. They've been down to none on the bench since half-time, the Rams. The margin is only 10. They've been pretty good to have it this close, and a goal would make it a very interesting last 5 minutes.
Brown pumps along from fullback. Russo, 2-on-1 there for the Rams. Couldn't get a mark. Hocking. Like a pig in you-know-what. He'll stick his head over it.
So game reset, 21 minutes gone. Glenunga need 2 goals.
Davis coming up the ground. Says, if you can't do it, boys, I'll try and do it myself.
That's fine. Hey, go forward. We're not doing that yet.
A goalless quarter.
4-2 to 2 behinds. O'Brien, Hocking with the clearance. Wagner, off hands. Tregarkis in pursuit. Russo, Wagner, O'Brien. That's a nice looking kick. Hell about. In hella room. And he'll take his full 30. 10 points the margin now. I'm going to go the early crow. If he kicks it, it's all but done. Knows where the goals are, hell about. 42 last year. 5 in the first 2 rounds. Strikes it okay, but it's pushing across. Mark! Wagner! I think this is the Jake variety.
It's the easier pocket to kick goals from here at Webb Oval. And with 22 gone, time on, and Glenunga with no interchanges. This might put a ribbon on it. I think you're spot on there, Jack.
He'll roll out onto the left. Slightly rushed. He kicks it. 2 massive goals in the last quarter for Wagner. And Salisbury North are running home like a steam train. 5 goals to none in this last quarter. This has been one of the great games thus far in season 2025.
The Div 2 regular season premiers, Salisbury North, couldn't get it done on grand final day, but they're proving they are not just an also run in Div 1. Rocks as well have been super strong. Should have held on against the Rams last week, and Glenunga could be zipping 3. As it stands, they'll be 1-2 and winless at home through 2 games. An unimaginable statement coming into this season. This was their home ground, their patch of turf where they could not be defeated last season and the season prior. Alex Guy has a few problems to solve. Couple of major injuries it looks like as well. McMahon and Wisman out of this game from early second quarter. It's been one of those games they've done beautifully to have their nose in front at 3/4 time. That's a one-handed effort. Mark was paid. He didn't know he took it. And now Golden Grove looked to add a bit of percentage to the win. Pierce over the top. Had Richard and he slams it into the behind post. Wasteful from the Hawks, but the job is all but done. They lead by 16 points well into time on 4th quarter. A professional performance from the Hawks.
Hey, all on his own out on this commentary wing. If it can be marked, he might get it. Not to be. O'Brien scraps it forward. Hell about. Well tackled by Redmond. Ball spills out. Cloughton, the first one onto it. Tregarkis just kicks it straight up the chimney. Temi and Wagner. Temi wins it. Gets a handball forward. Marini. Meters gained are so hard to come by for the Rams late in this last quarter.
Allergic to a 450 entry, someone saying like they do about us. But
They cured that allergy in the 3rd quarter.
it early work.
Hell about from the back. Hocking. Now he's tackled. And it'll be a ball up. Salisbury North just trying to kill this game.
It was the case in that third quarter that the Hawks could barely get it inside forward 50. Glenunga were holding a man back and they were just holding an inside forward 50 of their own. But they spent all their petrol tickets and they kicked 5 behinds in that third quarter. Jack, you summed it up beautifully, three-quarter time. Missed opportunities through Abe Davis and a couple of others. And it's come back to bite them. In all fairness, the Hawks, they missed a few of their own chances in the first quarter. And they could be well up in this game at quarter time. They weren't. They held the Rams in it. Injuries have come back to bite. Over the shoulder. And this will just rub it in a little bit more. Siren imminent now. And Hocking can add a little bit of spice to the Hawks' latte. This will be a sweet win for the Hawks. Their longest road trip in Div 1 footy this season, all the way to Glenunga from Salisbury, and
Sacred Heart, not further.
I dare say, oh, good call, Sacred Heart. I forgot about the Shockers. Oh, they'll be partying at Salisbury North tonight. 2-1 for the Hawks. A final siren delight. One of the biggest challenges in Div 1 footy to win as an away team at Webb Oval. And Salisbury North, they've got some scores to settle in Div 1.
Take a breath. Barnstorming finish from the Hawks. 22 points to the good. In front at quarter time, down at half time, down at three-quarter time, and 6 goals, that last one on the siren. 2-0 in the last quarter. I wasn't brave enough to call this on air. I wasn't sure if they could get it done, even though Glenunga had no bench. I just thought the experience of whoever was out there, they had enough to kill the game, as they so often have done over the last few years in Div 1. But Salisbury North, geez, they got their ball movement back, as they showed in the first and second quarters. And most importantly, made it count on the scoreboard. They got the goals that they needed, and some, to deliver what is a very, very impressive victory.
Abe Davis in the third quarter kicked 3 goals. He tried to single-handedly wrench away the points for the Rams after they were savaged by injuries. McMahon out of this game early in the second quarter, unfortunate for him. And Scott sent to hospital for stitches. Wisman also gone in the second quarter. So it was a day of damage for the Rams. Not only did they lose the game, but they've got a few injuries to deal with. And a bit of pain early in Alex Guy's coaching career. Nathan Grimer left him the best team in Div 1 last season. Plenty of changes in the off-season. Lots of new challenges here in Div 1 footy, and there's no doubt that they'll rise from this. They're too good a club not to. But 1-2 to start the season, and with 2 straight losses on their home patch. They were invincible here in the past 2 seasons. Not the way Alex Guy planned to start this season. And for Luke Harble, who's missing, of course, with a rib injury of his own, had to coach from the bench, usually the player coach, the former Central District superstar. A big win for the Hawks, coming all the way to Glenunga's patch. They sit 2-1. As I said in the call, they've got some scores to settle in Div 1. They would believe they've been out of Div 1 for too long. They're finally back and they're making it count.
They certainly are. 2-1 to start the year. Did you say Rocks got it done?
We'll take a look at some around the ground scores shortly. Wrap up who we thought were some better players for us, Jack, and I'll find those progress scores for you.
Quickly run through the goal kickers. Bean, McMahon, Marini, Prosser and Dwyer with 1 each for the Rams, and Davis kicking 3 goals all in that third quarter. Looked to be the fairy tale for Glenunga, but wasn't to be. For the Hawks, Russo, O'Brien, Hellabout, Wagner, Holland, Hocking, Richard and Deacon with 1, Costanzo with 2 and Jake Wagner with 2 in the last quarter. Better players for both teams. I thought Pridham had a great game all game, running through the middle. Normally he plies his straight out on the wing, but he was thrown into the guts and did his fair share. Faye and Bean did some special things down in the forward line as well. Deacon, Wagner, O'Brien, head over it all day in the middle there, O'Brien. Russo nullified West's influence and his ability to get his on-ballers into the game. It was probably only that third quarter he got on top a little bit when Glenunga looked to be running away with it. Russo and, Costanzo, I think, were the better players for the Hawks.
Let's quickly go around the grounds before we wrap it up. And Prince Alfred were up 20 points in the fourth quarter against Rocks, and they've lost. Ross Trevor have won by 1 point against Prince Alfred. So both Div 2 teams proving they are not just also runs in 2025 footy. Port District a dominating 90-point victory over Broadview. That's going to be a long season. You do fear for the Tigers. Sacred Heart 4-point winners at Harpers Field. That's a big road trip against Golden Grove. And unsure on the other game, we'll try to bring that to you, of course, on Between the Posts, the Adelaide Footy League wrap-up show. And you can catch, of course, Phil Herden's weekly wrap Sunday nights on the Adelaide Footy League Facebook page. But from Webb over, we were treated to a defensive scrap with some moments of offensive brilliance. Jack Bamwell, you've been fantastic this afternoon.
Pleasure to be here. I'm glad maybe we didn't have the match of the day in the end, with Rocks coming back for a 1-point victory, but nonetheless, it was a brilliant game here at Webb Oval. The conditions served for some entertaining footy, and you summed it up brilliantly, I think. A defensive scrap with some moments of brilliance from some players, and Salisbury North, well, they'll be taking all the confidence they can into next week, where they play at home to PAC, who have just had their first loss of the season. So they're there for the taking as well, and Hawks with a bigger role of momentum will be fancying themselves at home at a hostile environment at the Hawks' Nest.
All round 4 matchups next week on Filming Footy. Port District, Golden Grove, Spock and Glenunga, Broadview and Rocks, Salisbury North, Prince Alfred, and Shock, Payneham, Norwood Union. On behalf of Jack Banwell, the whole Filming Footy crew, Jack Moore signing off from Webb Oval, where it was the Salisbury North Hawks capturing a 22-point win over the Glenunga Rams. Have a great evening.